Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at something, well, kind of big, the Bible. Is it really divinely inspired? I mean, is it really the Word of God?
A huge question.
Huge question, right? Well, we've got this work by Dr. Patrick Briney, and he's trying to make the case that the Bible is divinely inspired, but he uses science and math. That's kind of a different approach.
Yeah, it's not your typical Sunday school type of approach to this question.
Definitely not. We've got our expert here today to help us really kind of unpack these arguments.
It's important to kind of start from the beginning with Dr. Briney's argument, right? He started with the premise that Jesus is God. And if you accept that, then, well, it makes sense that God would want to make sure that Jesus' teachings, as they're written in the Bible, are accurate.
There were some things in here that were, I don't know, they just kind of blew my mind. Like, Briney talks about how the Bible mentions, like, paths in the sea and wind circuits and even the earth being suspended in space. How could they have known that back then?
Yeah, that's what he's getting at, that there's all this knowledge in the Bible that
Yeah.
it shouldn't have been known at the time, scientifically speaking. It's almost like if you found like a blueprint for a smartphone, but it was in like a medieval manuscript,
Oh,
it makes you think.
definitely makes you think. It also makes you think about, prophecies. Briney claims that there were over 300 prophecies about the Messiah that were fulfilled by Jesus.
Right.
And he even mentions this mathematician, Peter Stoner, who calculated the astronomical odds against that happening just by chance.
Yeah. Probability calculations, they could definitely be eye-opening.
You ready for this? The Bible code. It's this idea that there are hidden messages encoded in the Hebrew text. And you find them by analyzing letter patterns.
Okay.
Like, imagine like a grid of letters. And if you skip certain intervals, you can spell out these hidden words, like a secret code. Briney highlights research by mathematicians. They found some crazy things, like names of rabbis associated with their birth and death dates.
About the Bible, he talks about how consistent it is internally. I mean, all those different writers over centuries. And it still manages to tell this cohesive story.
It is pretty amazing when you think about it. Like,
Right.
how can a text that was written over such a long period of time and by so many different people, how can it still, have that sense of consistency?
Well, some people would say that's proof of divine inspiration,
Yeah.
right? But some scholars really emphasize the literary and historical context of the Bible to understand how it developed.
Right. So it's like we've got all this evidence for the Bible's divine inspiration, the scientific foreknowledge, the prophecies that were fulfilled, and even those hidden codes.
But the process of exploring the evidence
Yeah.
and weighing the arguments and just grappling with all the complexities, that's what makes it so intellectually stimulating.
I totally agree. It's been a wild ride, all these aha moments, and then
Yeah.
all these questions. I feel like I've learned so much, but now I have even more questions. It's great.
That's nice.
What stands out to you
Yeah.
in all of this?
Yeah. I think it's fascinating that even if we don't have all the answers about where the Bible came from, there's no denying
Yeah.
the impact it's had on human history. It still shapes the lives of billions of people all over the world.
Yeah, I mean, think about all the art and the social movements and just the comfort and guidance it's given people for generations. You can't really overstate its cultural and historical significance, no matter what you personally believe.
Absolutely. That's a really key takeaway. Even if we don't have all the answers, the Bible is still this powerful and thought-provoking text, and it challenges us to think about these fundamental questions about faith and morality and the human condition.
This deep dive has really opened up a whole new world of questions for me about faith, history, and the power of belief. What about you? It's like we open this door to this massive library, and it just makes me wonder, why does this one book, the Bible, why does it have so much power, even if we don't know for sure where it came from? Why is it so important to so many people all over the world?
That's a great question. It's not just about the historical arguments or the scientific evidence. There's something about the Bible itself that really connects with people across cultures and throughout history.
Right.
Or maybe it's those stories, those timeless stories that just speak to the human experience. Even if we just approach the Bible as a historical document or a work of literature, we can still learn something from it, from its themes and stories. They give us a glimpse into the human psyche, our struggles, our hopes, our fears.
This deep dive has been quite a journey.
It has.
All this evidence, all this analysis, and honestly, a few moments that just left me in awe, it feels like. We've only just scratched the surface.
That's true. That's the beauty of it. Whether you see the Bible as sacred or a historical document or a work of literature, there's always more to discover. And as we discover, we find ourselves facing those big questions about life, the universe, everything.
It really is a never-ending story. Every time we come back to it, we see something new.